Hello, I'm Jun, and I'm presenting this paper, Human-Animal Teams as an Analog for Future Human-Robot Teams, Influencing Design and Fostering Trust. The full citation is given in gray below, and the link of the video is also provided. This is my reading assignment two for RBE 526 HRI. Right. So let's go over the overview first. This paper provides a framework to survey and organize human-animal teamwork and their transitions into human-robot teams. It is organized by proposing different aspects of human-robot teamwork and how references can be drawn from animals. It's a great resource if we're looking for those items in our research. Of course, it comes with its own limitations. This paper does not provide quantitative validation of proposed framework. It does not provide implementation details of any mentioned methods. It also does not provide a clear and organized logical hierarchy to connect individual insights, however valuable those insights may be. That is why, in my opinion, I think it's suitable for early or general literature review, but it's not good for late-stage detailed study. Rather than using its framework entirely, I think it's better to absorb individual insights from it. Now let's get to the paper itself. So this paper has its setting with two opposing trends that the authors observe. The first trend is that the authors believe robots will foreseeably work with humans as teammates. So there'll be an eventual need of human-robot cooperation. However, opposed to that, they also observe the trend that robots in the near future cannot directly replace human beings. So their capabilities are limited, and they're not a perfect replica of ourselves. In order to address those two conflicts, they ask this research question: what design strategies should engineers use to fulfill team roles but with limited autonomy, meaning limited capabilities from the robots? And their hypothesis is that they want to look into human-animal cooperation as an analogy, and that will be the source to provide design ideas. Um, Branching off from the overall hypothesis that we roboticists should look into human-animal cooperation for analogy, they then make two sub-hypotheses. The first one is that um, human-animal relation can be used to better human mental model for robots. A mental model means the perception or the expectation of human beings towards robots. For example, what they expect the robots to do, how the robots should perform, how the robots receive and provide information, so on and so forth. Sub-hypothesis number two is that understanding purposes of animal domestication will outline potential fields for human-robot teamwork. Now let's go into each of one of them in detail. So for the first one, the authors cited numerous papers and used their experiments to show that human mental models of robots are heavily influenced by its visual features. Also, that human mental models of robots are heavily influenced by popular culture. As an example, the legged walker appearing in the popular film series Star Wars may misguide many people to believe legged robots all have huge and extended legs, just as in the photo to the right, and condense other functionalities to a single metal box on the upper body. Well, that is not necessarily the case. The legs can be simplified. It can have less joints. It can be shortened. It even doesn't need to have a full-fledged foot, and just a point contact may suffice in some cases. And also their upper body can be more complicated for dexterous manipulation tasks. So this is an example of how popular culture like Star Wars may fix the expectation of a certain type of robot among human teammates. And then They also cite experiments to show that misalignment between the mental model from humans and the robot's actual functionalities results in mistrust and less cooperative teamwork, which is all to be avoided. And finally, they cited these works to show that humans are able to form good mental models of animals based on their visual features. Now we combine the above observation, the authors propose a solution. Since human beings are doing much better at formulating mental models on animals, even just by the appearances of them, roboticists should utilize this strength of ours. We should use biomimetics designs to guide human users to correlate robots with animals doing similar team tasks to help the human teammates generate the correct mental model. And they provide a couple of examples for that. They also mentioned that the big dog robot appearing in 2007 Starper Challenge is designed to look like a mule, thus hinting its operators that similar to mules, it carries bags and in general heavy loads. It has 4 legs and can traverse terrains similar to a mule, not to a car. These are all hints of its tasks and its style of completing the tasks. Similarly, the robot Octopus, devised by Ackerman in 2014, gives hints to audiences on how it moves by pushing water with its tentacles, just like a real octopus. So these two examples are both examples of guiding human mental model with its animal-inspired looks. Now we come to the author's second sub-hypothesis, that understanding purposes of animal domestication clarifies area for robot developments. I'll be using the paper's example images for each category. Under the first category, the author proposes that the animals provide physical benefits, and robots can do it too. For example, if you look at the leftmost column, you're going to see that the mule take over the human to carry weight, and as we said earlier, Big Dog also does the similar task. They can also magnify humans' capabilities, like what you see in the middle column. A man is able to lift up a tree with the help of an elephant. And also now modern day, we can operate with more precision with industrial robots, and they're able to handle much more heavy pieces. Finally, they can also extend the reach of human. For example, we have companion dogs, and also Amarov's friend robots, which is an extension to the disabled people. This paper then says animals and robots can serve us emotionally. They can provide companionship and comfort, like how dogs accompany old people or child, and how a Paro robot is designed to be a puffy, um, to be puffy and cute, and to help us navigate our daily lives. They can be a model for education, which is what you see in the middle row. Dogs can be used to guide animal classes, biology classes, and now robots is used in the education settings as well. They can also be used in therapies. As you see in the rightmost column, we have horse therapies, and Romevo robot does a similar thing by providing chances for the patients to offer caring to express themselves in a safe and private environment. Finally, the paper states that they can both help us cognitively, providing extra sensing power. They can replace human senses to do larger dexterity, like using canary birds to detect poison gas, nanorobot to detect signals in dangerous zones. They can also extend our sensing, typically seen in research, in search and rescue missions or monitoring tasks. As you may notice, this is hardly a categorizing framework, since many applications can be matched with multiple categories. It rather tags those applications with various benefits they may offer and help clarify that usage. And the last section of this paper discusses how developing such functionalities is related to building trust between human and animals or robots, which I think should be logically placed under another sub-hypothesis. It discusses that first impressions induced by outer appearances influence trust heavily, that trust can be improved or damaged by continuously witnessing the animal or robot's work and communication, that trust can be retained as memory or history even after the teamwork ends and become a long-term confidence in such teamwork. Loosely related to the previous two sub-hypotheses is the author's analysis on the key factors of human-robot learning. In contrast to the previous two sections, this section doesn't make any claims or hypotheses, only lists related work done in respective fields. Under the factor of task interdependencies, they mention two types of task interdependencies. Initiated being direct transferring of information or produce, received being influenced by the other party. They also mentions three types of workflow. Pooled is a single passing process that happens parallel between human and animal or robot. Sequential is a single passing that takes order, and reciprocal is an umbrella term for anything more complicated than that. With the factor of communication, they mention that they mention the ways that human and animal or robots communicate depends on the animal and on the scenario. As an example, in a fast-paced race, like in Westminster Dog Show, between a trainer and dog, short verbal commands and quick gestures are the best. They believe that roboticists should consider the scenario of application of designing input-output system on robots. Finally, they relate these factors to trust building again, extending the two factors to two kinds of trust. One is that the robot teammate should learn to trust and accept the robot's information output. Another is that the human fully understands the robot's normal functionality as well as its faulty movements. Again, I think this larger section, despite adding insights and comprehensiveness, is poorly knitted into the rest of the paper. In conclusion, this paper makes several key claims and support them with previous literatures. The first claim being that animals' roles are good directions to develop cooperative robots. The second one being a wide range of animal communication inlets and outlets can be chosen and developed on a robot based on tasks. The third one being that building trust in human-robot teams requires holistic approaches encompassing all aspects of robot development. Again, I'd say this paper is good as a starter to the literature review of an HRI process, but it's not suitable for an in-depth study or basing your research upon. That concludes my reading assignment. Thank you.